Imagine this. After a long day at work, you're exhausted and can't wait to get home. It is just like every other day after work. Everyone on the train is minding their own business. Some are on the phone, some are taking a quick nap, and all of a sudden, you hear a loud scream coming from the adjacent carriage. You quickly stand up and peek over. Then you see blood everywhere and people crawling on the ground. At the end of the carriage, a man covered with blood, holding a sharp knife and slowly walking towards you. What would you do? Hello everyone, that's Investigate here. Today we'll be talking about a subway massacre that happened in Taiwan about 6 years ago. The 2014 Taipei metro attack was a mass stabbing spree that took place on May 21st, directed toward unspecific civilians on a Taipei metro train, resulting in 4 deaths and 24 injured. It was the first fatal attack on the city's subway system since it began operation in 1996. The suspected attacker is a 21-year-old university student, Cheng, and was arrested after the attack. On May 21st, 2014, Cheng first bought a folding Swiss knife at the vending store near Tonghai University, and then went north to Banqiao. After arriving at Banqiao Station, he asked a friend from junior high to hang out in the nearby McDonald's for dinner. The two chatted about the strategy of a mobile game. Before leaving, Chen suddenly said, "Wait, I have to cultivate my emotions and get to the right mindset, because I'm going to do it later." The classmate thought he was talking about the mobile game and didn't care much. After partying with his friend, Chen bought a 30cm long titanium steel knife from the local supermarket near his house. Around 3:35 p.m., Chen entered the MRT Jiangzicui station in Banqiao district and used his watch to calculate the longest distance between the two stations. Between the Longshan station and Jiangzicui station, there is a river in the middle dissecting the two districts. The driving time between the two stations is 3 minutes and 46 seconds, which is the best time to commit the crime. He knew all passengers would be in an enclosed compartment and would not be able to escape. This period of time is long enough for him to carry out the murderous attack. After the train arrived at the Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall station, Chen got off the train and walked to the other side of the platform to take the south train back to Jiangzicui station. At 4:22 p.m., the train left Longshan Temple station. Chen took out 2 knives and randomly attacked passengers in the carriage, starting from the last 2 parts of the train. Some passengers were listening to music. Some of them are taking a quick nap. No one in the world was expecting a college student to go on a killing spree. The devil was wearing a red jacket with 2 sharp knives and is about to commit a mass murder. Chen first assassinated 3 passengers who were in their sleep. While this happened, most of the passengers had their heads down and were too occupied with their phones. Chen started his massacre. During the attack, Chen hacked and chased passengers with a 30cm long knife. From the 5th to the 2nd carriage, he stabbed every passenger he saw. He aimed for the abdominal and chest area, meaning he didn't mean to hurt them. He meant to kill them. If the victim did not fall after he stabbed them, he would head back and stab a few more times, just to make sure they don't get up. One of the female victims was stabbed 4 times and shouted, "You have already stabbed me. Please, please don't kill me. Please, I'm begging." After a few minutes, blood splashed everywhere on the carriage, and it instantly became hell inside the metro. Passengers started to realize there was a maniac on board going around and stabbing random people. A group of passengers banded together to distance themselves using umbrellas, while others tried to discourage the attacker by loudly taunting him. At about 4:26 p.m., after the train arrived at Jiangzicui Station, all the doors of the carriage opened. Cheng followed the other passengers off the train to attack more people on the platform. However, he did not succeed as he was resisted by everyone on the platform. Cheng was planning to escape through the second exit of the station, but was stopped by a brave 62-year-old elder. The elder threw Cheng to the ground to temporarily immobilize him. Several people saw this opportunity to seize Cheng and surrounded him. At 4:30 p.m., police arrested Cheng. Paramedics sent the wounded to the nearby hospital for emergency treatment. Unfortunately, there were 4 deaths. The youngest was a graduate student who is only 26-year-old, and 24 injuries, 10 of which was in a critical condition. Cheng, a 21-year-old second-year student at Tonghai University in the central city of Taichung. Cheng says he found it distressful to live, so he decided to carry out the murder so he could get a death penalty and be executed. Cheng stated that he does not feel guilty, he feels no regret, and he would totally do it all over again and kill more people if he had the second chance. The death penalty did not deter him, and he didn't even flinch when he heard about it. When the police asked him if he wanted to apologize to the victim's family, he replied, "I am very comfortable after killing people. In fact, I felt quite nice. I have no problem going to sleep every night knowing I just murdered 4 people. And why should I even apologize to them? If it were my family or my friends on the train, I will kill them in the blink of an eye." Cheng also actively asked the police when will he attend the court, and even threatened, "If the death penalty is not granted, I will kill myself. I am too done with life. I was too scared to take my own life, so I chose to kill a few more people to make sure that I will be sentenced to death." In elementary school, Cheng threatened to kill classmates over small disagreements. In junior high, he had carried a knife for a month looking for a chance to stab his teacher. In senior high, Cheng began blogging about his plans to kill and posted articles about murders. He likes to collect knives and was fascinated by all the novels about gruesome murders. He enrolled in National Defense University in 2011 with the intention of receiving military training, but was expelled 2 years later. He then transferred to Tonghai University. In fact, the school said that they noticed some of Cheng's abnormal behavior back in April and consoled him in May. At the end of the April, Cheng wrote on his Facebook, "I'm about to do big things," and he published 2 articles revealing unusual information. After seeing the articles, one of Cheng's high school students warned Tonghai University and said that his message on Facebook is somewhat odd, which makes people think he might have antisocial tendencies, and that they should pay more attention to him. On May 9th of the same year, a teacher from the counseling center of Tonghai University and the military training instructor tried to talk to Cheng, as they tried to understand the situation and to counsel him. Cheng told them that the pure intention to write on Facebook is to vent, and there are no other intentions. He even revealed that he has a habit of writing horror novels, but after the investigator digged deeper, he once wrote about killing at the anonymous station, where he would just kill random people. On May 22nd, 2014, Cheng's roommate interviewed with the school. At 1 p.m., him and another roommate called Cheng and asked him to have lunch together, but Cheng only briefly replied, "I can't make it." He called Cheng at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but did not obtain a response. Looking back now, It was a time when Cheng started the massacre. The roommate said him and Cheng get along, and he thinks that Cheng is very calm and composed. He couldn't believe that his roommate did such horrendous things. On May 27th, Cheng's parents publicly apologized at Zhangzicui Station and called for a quick death sentence for their son. Cheng was indicted by the new Taipei District Prosecutor's Office on July 21st. Cheng was charged with 4 homicides and 22 attempted homicides. The prosecution also requested the death penalty. In order to clarify Cheng's mental condition, the prosecutor sent him to the National Taiwan University Hospital for a psychiatric evaluation before prosecuting him. The results confirmed that Cheng had no issue and did not suffer from any mental disorders, but he had antisocial and narcissistic personality. To Cheng, the world has nothing. Life is meaningless. He is extremely pessimistic and had long-term suicidal thoughts, but has no courage to commit suicide. On April 22, 2016, the Supreme Court of Taiwan issued a final ruling and rejected the defendant Cheng's appeal. Cheng was sentenced to death for 4 homicides and 22 attempted homicides. Cheng illegally deprived others for their lives to vent his anger, injured 26 people with knives, an average of 6.8 seconds. 1 person caused 4 deaths and 21 injuries. The method was cruel and harmful to the society. The execution order against Cheng was issued according to law. On May 11, 2016, Cheng was taken to the execution ground and executed. Just hours after the massacre, people began leaving flowers and cards at the exit of Zhangzicui Station to pay tribute to those who had died in the attack. The Taiwanese president condemned the attack and ordered the National Police Agency to investigate what led an university student to stab 4 people to death on a crowded subway train. The government released a joint statement signed by all political parties calling for the National Police Agency to thoroughly re-examine and increase police deployment on metro system, railways, and airports. Taipei Mayor announced that police officers from precincts in Taipei and New Taipei City are to be permanently deployed at each of the Taipei MRT stations. Did the Taiwanese education system fail Cheng? He showed multiple aggressive behaviors when he was young, but the school simply resolved it as conflicts between peers and did not do any further counseling, and slowly, Cheng became mentally distorted. We live in an era with advanced technologies, where we often get occupied by the small screen in front of us and became unaware of the surroundings. Some said the passengers had put themselves in danger by focusing on their smartphones, while some said the passengers should have quickly pressed the emergency alert button in the train. We need to use this tragedy and reflect upon ourselves. How can we prevent this? And if we were in the same situation, how can we act to minimize the casualties?